guys, this is Mark from Successful. I'm here with Richard, and we are here for How to Build Your Own Rome. Now, this is our third show, and this week we're going to be talking about knowing your strengths, forgetting about your weaknesses.
Yeah, which is a big thing that Gary Vaynerchuck, sort of, he's very, very much behind that, isn't he? He likes to
and we're going to talk about Gary as part of our when we look at these people and how they operate and how they move forward.
Yeah.
So we'll have a chat about him in a bit. But yeah, just knowing your strengths, I think it's really important. Just so many people worry about what they can't do. They worry about, I won't be able to do that. I won't be able to do this. I won't be able to do that. And it's really just recognising the fact that we've all got things we struggle with.
Yeah.
And it's just concentrating on what we're good at
Is this
and getting people in to help with the bits that you can't do.
Yeah, well, is this the thing in the self-development world where people say, oh, you could do anything if you just believe? Like, I really couldn't be a basketball player. I could be a basketball, not a good one.
Yeah, and it's...
No
I don't think
much
it's always... You could... If you practiced all day, every day, you could get quite good at maybe shooting hoops or, I don't know, playing a part or doing something to do with basketball.
Yeah.
But the fact is, or you could just employ a basketball player.
Yeah.
You know, if you're no good at something, do you really need to go and learn how to do it? I don't know. I mean, we all employ solicitors for different things, for instance.
Well, exactly, yeah.
You don't go and learn how to become a solicitor just to get out paying a parking ticket there.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You go and use...
Other people.
You use other people's services. And this is what people need to recognise, what they're good at, what they're not good at, or not qualified in, or not capable of, or whatever. Just recognise that and concentrate on your strengths, because your strengths are more important.
Yeah, so Gary Vaynerchuck, he says, triple down on your strength.
Yeah.
Triple down on your strength. So what would you say that your strengths are, Mark?
I like to think my strengths are bringing a team together, putting an idea in place, setting the team up, getting it working, and actually a strength I've got is being able to take a step back and let people get on with it without constantly questioning their ability, their thought process and things like that. Actually being able to, I know some bosses struggle with this. You have to keep dipping
really
in and turn up once a week, scream, shout at everybody, and then leave. Sort of thing. It's no help at all. Actually being able to just say,
Jobs.
right. Well, yeah, for instance, But actually being able to turn around and sort of say, look, that's yours now. It's your baby. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Let me know if you've got any problems.
Yeah. Well, you're really good as well. I think is patience.
Mm-hmm.
You understand how not to... You shoot the gun at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, people like myself will shoot myself in the foot very quickly if you give me a gun. But I'm learning patience from you. So you're patient. So you understand kind of like how things need to be done at the right time.
Yeah.
Which is really, really crucial. And then that's quite a hard thing to learn because it's through experience, isn't it?
It's through experience, and also I think with things like that, it's been in a situation where, not that it doesn't matter, but it hasn't. I'm not looking for instant anything. Yeah, and there's so many people out there nowadays who want an instant result.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't happen. I'm sorry, I know people out there will claim that's how it works, but I'm afraid I've never experienced an instant result.
Not one that lasts.
No, not a long-lasting one. You might have an instant win on a lottery ticket or something like that, but it's not a long-term. That's not the way of building a long-term business, sustainable business. And so. And it's. I think it's a strength. I like to think it's a strength. I can step back. I can watch other people. I'm quite happy to sit back and watch people make mistakes, and then talk about it afterwards. Not take over halfway through or stuff like that. So unless it's a major mistake that's going to cause massive problems, but being able just to calmly deal with it afterwards, I think it's a strength.
So so you double down on that, your ability to kind of get the team together and then sort of leave it and then come back and sort of check up on it. But that your ability to sort of do that is, part of that ability is understanding the people's strengths, isn't it?
Understanding their strengths, understanding. Getting them to understand their strengths and their weaknesses as well. So, getting them to recognise the fact that, if you need to get somebody in to do this bit, you need to, and recognising what the jobs are to move forward, and recognising who's best suited for each job. Very similar in line with what we've been sort of talking about, really. But some people need a list of jobs in front of them to work their way through because they can't think on their feet. They can't come up with the stepping stones themselves. Whereas other people maybe try and skip steps and move too fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think putting a team together that work in parallel to each other, some, and sort of holding that team together, I think is a strength that I've learned over several different businesses. So,
So we talked about in the first 2 episodes. The first one was starting up. Was it getting your
sort of recognising where you were, recognising that to do anything you need to lay that first brick and
solve
the
that
end goal.
problem.
Yeah.
The second one was toolkit. So getting all the skills together that you need and learning skills along the way and keeping your skills up to date. And this one is basically doubling down on your strengths and using other people too. So it's about teamwork. So the next step would be gathering people around you to do this project. Do they have to? Is an important part of it working with people that have the same sort of morals and values as you?
For me, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Depending on what the business is, some businesses, clearly doesn't matter. But I think it's very important. I think it's something that we've done quite well at as successful. I think we've worked with the people. I mean, we've turned quite large jobs away from people just because we don't agree with what they're saying, what they're doing. Yeah. And I think for us it's really important. But again, there's a lot of companies out there that would take that work on even if it was against their morals, against their values, just because it's money coming in. And I think it's nice for us to be in a situation where we're not chasing.
Do you think that bites them on the bum in the end? Do you think it comes back to
again? It comes back to being short term. You don't. It's not a long term sustainable business because without values, it's going to be very short lived. And there's no point us sitting here talking about this and then going off and doing something totally different when we move forward. Our values are what we talk about, and I think this brings us back to what we've been saying about lots of coaches and things like that. What they actually preach and what they do are 2 totally different things, miles apart. And I don't think that's. I think in the way of social media and all that sort of stuff nowadays, I don't think you can get away with it anymore. I think people will see through it very quickly.
Do you know what? That's a really good point. We're going to talk about Gary Vee in a minute, but one of the points that he came up with very early on I saw was he said everything you do is documented now. You can't get away with being fake. No, and people, I think, Danny explained this earlier, we sort of spoke about this earlier, that people are psychologically watch an advert now and go, that is absolute rubbish. I think they've kind of grown up. A lot of people have grown apart through that point of going, that can trick me. That trick doesn't work anymore.
No, I don't think it does. We spoke about this in a podcast not so long ago. I think people are far more clued up to adverts, to things like ClickFunnels and things like that. You've just got to get cleverer and cleverer and cleverer about how you attract customers.
Well, isn't it the best, cleverest way to do it, honestly? Would it be?
Again, I think honesty goes a long way to building a long-term business. Things like some people who use, I don't want to say ClickFunnels, so I don't want to categorise that, but that sort of way of selling things, there are a percentage of people that use it because it's a quick and easy way of selling something. You can overpromise, underdeliver. You've got the money up front, all that sort of stuff. There are people out there that do it very well and have built massive, long-term, really solid businesses out of it. So, but it's always the few that sort of use it for the wrong reasons. But I think honesty goes so far in building a long-term business. I don't think you can be dishonest or twist the truth or anything like that and get away with it for very long.
Very long, yeah. So we're going to have a look at Gary Vee now, because each week we look into a specific person. We had Elon Musk was last week, and the first week was Richard Branson, I believe. So today we're going to have a look at Gary Vee. So we've got this nice book here from Mr. Evan Carmichael, who will be in one of ours. So it's Top 10 Rules For Success. If you haven't seen the series, then do go over to YouTube. I think he's got 1.3 million subscribers now. So
he is doing very well on YouTube. Very well. He's got so many people following him, and he's brought the book out, which sort of just backs up everything he's done on YouTube over the last sort of 12 months, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
12,
he's done some amazing work, and I love the cartoon characters as well. It was pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
so it's really good. So yeah, book well worth getting, and we've sort of been using it a little bit towards sort of learning a bit more about other people and things.
Yeah,
as
the
well,
best way to learn is to learn from others, and I think this is really, really well let out. So the first one is rule number 1: bet on your strengths. So. And we didn't even know that was number 1, so we actually looked into that.
I don't think we can read what's on the first page. There's lots of swearing in it, so there's lots.
There's lots of swearing.
It's definitely the page with the most starred out words.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It looks star. It does look like the American flag, basically, down one side. Execute your ideas, which is really important. So one of his rules, Gary Vaynerchuck, is execute your ideas.
One of the things
ideas aren't nothing unless they're put.
That's it. I think his thing is ideas. Ideas are worth f all.
Yeah. Not Ethel as in
what's
little old lady.
What's it on the first page? Is
it
his saying, isn't it, without the swear words?
No, this is a different one. But there is the ideas are worth. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a humongous believer in that ideas are poo, and that execution's the game.
That's it. Yeah. And this is a bit where they say everybody has got an idea within them that would make them a millionaire.
Yeah.
Everyone at some point has seen something and thought, well, why don't they just make it like that? Or just some sort of silly little idea that would solve a national, international problem. Yeah. But they've never done anything with it.
No.
And for each person, when you had that idea, you executed it, there's be so many more people out there that are making
But it's
millions.
the execution of it is a long-term execution. It's not just one, like, I've got to do this. You've got to build a team.
It can be long-term. It can be quite short-term. Well, you come up with an idea, just sell the idea.
How do you go about selling an idea, though?
You find somebody that wants to buy it.
Well, would someone fund the idea, put it into place?
Well, there's lots of different ways. You can sell. You go and get a patent on it, and then sell the patent. You can just find someone to team up with, find someone who's already making something similar, and say, right, I've got this idea.
Yeah.
You make it. I'll distribute it. There's loads of different ways of doing it. But if you've got an idea, don't shelve it. Don't ever shelve an idea. If you've got an idea, and execute it.
Comes back to when people worried about stealing their ideas. It's like there's nothing there. It's just an idea, thought.
It's just an idea.
Yeah.
People will copy you.
Of course they will.
We've done podcasts on this before.
Yeah,
if you've got a good idea, someone's going to copy you.
Of course they will,
just be the first one to get it out there. Do it properly from day one. Yeah. The ones that do well off copying people are the ones who, when it was done first time around, wasn't done very well, didn't have the right backing, wasn't done through the right media, that sort of thing. Someone else comes along, copies it, and just does it properly, and they do well out of it.
I watched this thing this morning, I can't remember the guy's name was, but he launched a video website 2 years before YouTube, and it bombed.
Yeah.
And then YouTube came out, and he said it was literally just down to timing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a massive thing people don't realise.
Oh, timing's because I mean, I remember we spoke about this not so long ago, and we were saying because there was a film we were talking about somebody who didn't remember the Beatles, or was the only one that remembered them, or something. This is a new film being recorded, isn't it? And we were talking about like the Beatles. If the Beatles set up now, everybody would laugh them off stage.
Of course they would, yeah. It's just especially
at the time it was.
I mean, he could barely. Bless him, but he could barely play the drums.
But at the time, it was just suited the time, suited the era. Yeah. There's loads of gadgets that are coming out that if they'd come out 3-4 years ago, nobody would have wanted them. But now it's a new thing.
Yeah, didn't Virgin bring out like an iPod just before the iPod, and it completely bombed. I think
there's lots of different things like that over the years. So, but I just think if you've got an idea, at least, if you're not going to do anything with it, give somebody. Don't be selfish. Give somebody, pass it on. Send it over to us.
Yeah, we'll have it.
We'll have it. We'll sell it, and
sell it.
It's
So we'll do another one of these. So don't overlook storytelling as one. Care about your customers. Stick to your DNA, which is the one we were talking about. We start with this. Stick to your DNA. He's got another one. Do things that matter. Now that's quite broad. He says, I delegate everything that I think is not the single most important thing in the world. He gives it to other people.
This goes a little bit back to Eat That Frog, doesn't it? Top 20%. Do the top 20% most important things. Go through it and list. If you've got 10 jobs to do, find 8 of them that somebody else can do.
Yeah.
And so what you're doing there, and this is a really good. I mean, I'm Eat That Frog. If you haven't read the book, get the book, read it. It will, it's have a really big effect on everyone's life, just everything you do, the way you do it, the order you do it in, that sort of thing. But anyway, what you basically do is if you had 10 jobs to do today and you didn't quite have enough time to get them all done, you'd do all of them half-assed, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you delegate 8 of them out, the 8 least important ones, and just took the 2 most important ones and dealt with them properly,
Yeah.
it would be so much. It'd have a much bigger effect on your business, on your life, whatever it is you're working on. Because and finding somebody to do those other 8, as long as they're capable of doing it, and they're not things that you personally have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's just a way forward, right?
And it comes back down to what we started off with, doubling down your strengths. Find someone who's got the ability to actually get that problem solved.
That's it. If you've got somebody that can, someone's really good at typing and they can type 5 letters for you much quicker than you're going to sit there with your one finger typing. Let them do it.
Yeah.
Dictate it. Let them do it. Whatever. Just find a way of speeding up everything you do. And what it's about, it's not about just getting stuff done quick so you can go home. It's about getting those little jobs out of the way so that you can concentrate on the 2 big jobs that need doing that
jobs,
day.
which as someone as the founder and doing the big jobs and get other people to do the little stuff so you can actually concentrate on the stuff you need to concentrate. It's invaluable, free up the time. But also, just before we end out, like, you have to know that person can do the job. Because do you find yourself, if you don't get the right person in, do you find yourself going, I wonder if they're going to get it done, and I might as well have done it myself because I'm still worried.
Sometimes, and this is the difference. I've had a few PAs in my time, and I had one PA who I didn't have to. If I had a meeting in London, I knew that when I got to the station, I only had to look on my phone, and there'd be an email there for some train tickets. I didn't have to worry about train tickets, didn't have to worry about hotels, anything like that. If I knew I had a meeting in London, that was all taken care of. And if I said this was female, this lady, and if I said to her, I got a meeting in London on that day, it would all be taken care of. And if I didn't hear about it again, I knew it was all sorted.
Yeah.
I've had other PAs where you'll say, can you book me a hotel in London? And then they'll come back and say, where do you want to stay? These are the 4 different hotels. How much do you want to spend? And I'm just
they
like,
ask you more
I might have just,
yeah.
You're just reading me the questions that Google's asking you. I could have done this myself, and that sort of thing. So it's having the right people around you where you've got the confidence they're going to be able to do it as well. And that's part of, back to what we've started talking about, a team, building a team of people who have got the abilities that you need.
Fantastic. Well, this has been a really good, short and sharp episode.
Yeah, you say short, it's still 15 minutes long.
Yeah, that's all right. It's 15 minutes long. So, guys, you got this book, Top 10 Rules for Success, Evan Carmichael. So we'll be reading for that. Actually, I think we'll go through that the next time as well. Find someone else that works really well. So, guys, do make sure
you get the book. Do you want to talk about this other book as well?
We've got
because this is.
I've got to fuck. I can't say.
Is that sort of in?
That book is incredible for anyone who has got problems with OCD, pure OCD. That book really, really helps. Really, really helps with understanding what is important to care about and what's not important to care about.
Okay.
And many other things. But
I haven't read it yet because I've got to be honest. Since we got it, you stole it.
I took it home.
You took it home, and I haven't read any of it yet.
It's been a brilliant book. I brought it in today because I have.
You keep telling me how good it is. You've creased the corners already. Look.
Do you know what? That was absolutely fine until I put it in my bedside cabinet last night.
Terrible.
I'm sorry about that. So, guys, do you want to introduce? Do you want to go do the outro?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay,
right. I'll let you.
Guys. So welcome. Welcome.
Welcome. Let's start again. Let's record next week's.
So, guys, head over to success4.com. We are passionate about safe self-development, and we are Success4 Global on all social media platforms. So that's SoundCloud, iTunes, Twitter, and Facebook. And we will speak to you soon. Make sure you subscribe to these. There'll be one out every Sunday.
Perfect.
See you later.